What's going on, YouTube? Welcome to Call You DFS. Um, Last night was pretty up and down for me. I'm not even gonna lie. Uh, I profited. I got double my buy-in, but it could have been a little better. But it happens. As long as you stick to a bankroll management system and in a way you select your lineups for the slates, you'll be okay. Again, it was a little up and down, but overall, I profited. Shout outs to Russell Westbrook for not getting kicked out of the playoffs. I'm glad to see him and his team were in sync for the first time. It was a good game. I liked it. But jumping into the Saturday slate, which starts at main slate, that starts at 3 p.m. Uh, it's not, to be honest, man, I don't know if Toronto's going to show up. I mean, it's kind of pointless right about now because, like, they're not just losing, they're getting their ass whooped. So it's like, I don't know if I'm going to be leaning towards playing anybody from Toronto. Now, if there's anybody I would consider from Toronto, it would have to be probably Ibaka or something. Someone that's just going to go out and play hard because, you know, it's his job to. I kind of don't like the Toronto Milwaukee game. However, there are some players on the Milwaukee team that I will consider. Two of them being from the small forward position. That's Middleton. That's Michael Beasley. Now, Michael Beasley is more of an up and down play. We all know that to me, anyways, he's better than Milicic or whatever the fuck his name is. But Jason Kidd is a fucking coach that I just can't fucking stand because once he has something good going, he switches it up, and you can never really get on his rotation because he switches it up. Beasley, I understand he got hurt and he was forced to sit for a while, but Beasley is a great player. He's priced at 1.8, I believe. Let's take a look at the Toronto versus Milwaukee. He's priced at 1.8. He's a great play, a really great play. But it's just one of those things where you're not sure until you play the lineup to see if he's gonna really get those minutes or not. I think he will. However, if you were to pursue him, I would say pursue him with caution. Um, and honestly, I'm not even looking at Antetokounmpo or oh, and Monroe. Monroe is a good pick too. However, the 6,800 price point, I mean, I know he's gonna get you anywhere from 25 to 30 points. I know that. However, it's just I'm just gonna throw it out there, man. My favorite, and I'm being biased right now because my favorite center, if they were to give him minutes, would go nuts. When I say nuts, I mean bonkers. JaVale McGee. I've been saying this to you guys for the longest. Now, I'm not saying he's going to go out and get 29 fantasy points again. However, I've been saying this for the longest. JaVale McGee, I like him because he can do a lot in a short amount of time. So his last game, 13 minutes, 15 points, 5 rebounds, 4 blocks, 1 steal, 2 turnovers. Not bad for someone only on the court for 13 minutes. I mean, look at his track record. I mean, he doesn't get no more than 20 minutes on the court. And when he's on the court for 20 minutes, he performs, or close to 20 minutes, he performs. And for his price point, he to me exceeds his value. He meets and exceeds his value. Uh, if I were to make a lineup, I would make a lineup with McGee in it. I know everybody is gonna probably be on Monroe, Gasol, Gortat. I mean, Gortat is a good pick as well. However, it's just for his price point, I don't see him hitting that 41K, 41.5 again. I mean, he may get close to 30. I'm not saying he can't perform. It's just I'd rather pay down. I would rather pay down. Um, if I were to go with a point guard, to be honest with you, hands down, it would be John Wall. Simply because John Wall has a point to prove. Uh, Same time last year or around this time last year, he went up against Atlanta and they lost. They got kicked out of the playoffs, and Atlanta was just yelling and or Schroeder and I forget who the other person was just making being obnoxious, yelling in his face and making it seem like like they had poor sportsmanship. So John Wall has a point to prove to really shut those guys down. Now I'm not gonna pick another point guard. I'm just gonna go for another shooting guard. The number one shooting guard that stands out to me is C.J. McCollum. They got something to play for, and I'm gonna say this again. I kind of lean towards teams that have something to play for, minus Toronto. And I'm not saying Toronto won't show up. I'm just saying the shit they did last game really pissed me off. I just couldn't understand it. I didn't like it, and it's the shit they did last game pissed me off. So, I mean, the number one shooting guard that sticks out on my list is C.J. McCollum from Portland. And if you go back to some of my old videos, you'll see that I picked some of the same guys because at the end of the day, this is the playoffs, and in the playoffs, you got to be kind of consistent with these players because one night they may perform, one night they might not. However, if you think in your head you have the perfect lineup, but that lineup doesn't work that night, the next game it might. It just might. So sometimes you got to be a little bit consistent. Me personally, I'm gonna play light tonight. I won. I don't want to say a lot of money last night, but I profited a lot, and I'm not in a hurry to give it back. So I'm probably gonna play single entries and leave it at that. I might not. I might even just make one lineup. I might not even submit 3 lineups. So sometimes you got to know when to play and when not to play. You got to know how much to play and how much not to play. So don't be in a rush to give it back. Like play light and then do some research on MLB and create a lineup for MLB. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm playing light. I'm researching and putting together possible combinations for MLB, and I'm gonna play a single entry for MLB because at the end of the day, next month I want to be on board with this. I want all my data and everything to meet expectations. So that's just me. But moving down the list, small forward. I honestly, to be quite frank, you can go with Middleton. However, that 7-1 price point, I don't know if he will meet his expectations. I think he'll get you anywhere from 25 to 30, but for 7-1, I like him. I do like him. When creating my lineup, I might put him in it, but it's just when you look at the price point, it's kind of like, oh man, shit, 7-1. I don't know if I really want to do it. But another guy that may get it done for you is Harkless. He showed up last game, and I was surprised. And for his price point, it's great because I look at it like 22 for 35 minutes. That's not. I mean, for under 5K, that's not that bad. I mean, I expect him to do 25. However, he did 22, so that's not that bad. Harkless might be a good pivot. Now, again, like I said, you can go with Middleton. You can go with Middleton, and you can go with Harkless, and still have some revenue left over to pick. But also don't forget Beasley is a good play as well. However, it's the thing about Milwaukee is it's Jason Kidd. It's their coach. You don't know what this guy is thinking. His mind might be, oh, let's fuck them all up and just play the bench this whole game, or oh, let's fuck them all up and not play nobody but the starters. His mind frame is so left field that you just don't know, man. Like, and I get it, dude. He's playing chess. He's not trying to play checkers. But Beasley, I like Beasley. 20 minutes on the floor, 13 points, 3 rebounds, 1 block, 2 turnovers. Not the most impressive stat sheet, but for that 1K price point, if he can get you anywhere from 15 to 20 points, that's a good steal for me. That's a good steal for me. So if I had to pick somebody, I would pick Beasley. I would pick Beasley. So right now, I've just submitted 4 players to you. One of my subscribers asks if I sell lineups, and I don't sell lineups. I don't. All I ask, if you like what I'm doing, you like the information I'm giving you, just donate $1. Donate $1. That's it. Donate $1. I'll email me. I'll email you some solid picks. That's it. At the power forward position, and there's a few, honestly, the first 4 power forwards you can just throw the first 4 power forwards in the mix. They would all go. Morris, he may go. It's an up and down. Ibaka, it's an up and down. Like, honestly, like I said, if there's anybody from the Toronto team that I would pick, it would be Ibaka. But at the end of the day, you employ him at your own risk. However, for right now, the number 1 power forward to go with is Draymond Green, simply because he succeeds with rebounds, defense, and distribution. So he doesn't necessarily need to score a lot of points to hit to double or to even triple double. So just keep in mind, he succeeds whether he scores or don't score. And that's a threat right there, because he is going to score, but you don't know how much. But what you do know is he's going to get rebounds. He's going to have assists. He's going to play defense. He's going to be emotionally involved in this game. So, and this is a rivalry. This is a fuck Portland type shit. So he's the number 1 power forward to get. Now, if I were to go off of, strictly matchup, the best possible matchup, which saves you salary, I would say employ LaMarcus Aldridge and Zach Randolph at power forward. Those 2 at your power forward. That probably would be a better play to go. However, I'm not building a lineup right now. I'm building. I'm putting together suggestions. And on my paperwork, on the data I collected that I crunched, Washington is the number 2. Sorry, let me correct myself. Portland is the number 1 power forward position, is the number 1 position to attack when constructing a lineup. Golden State is the number 2 power forward position to attack when constructing a lineup. And here's the thing about Golden State. Yes, on paper it says that the number says that it's the number 2 position to attack, but here's the thing. Numbers can be fudged. Draymond Green can slide over into the center position, and Iguodala could be on the floor. So it's just numbers can be fudged. So don't go by that number. That number could be fudged. Now, I'm not saying Portland can't attack the power forward position. They can. However, Vonleh will not do it. So what that means is you would have to slide over someone like Aminu or Turner or something like that into that power forward position. So if that was the case, that means you would go here at your small forward, and then you would go and pick Aminu or Harkless or something like that slides over in that power forward position. And that's the way you got to think. You got to think chess. You can't think, oh, okay, so I'm in the small forward slot, so I'm just pick this small forward because he's going to play in the small forward position. No, you can't think like that. You got to think, hey, this player is 2 position eligible, and he may cross over to this position. Beasley is a 2 position eligible player. He crosses over into that power forward position. Another reason why I put that up there is because Toronto, you can attack Toronto at the power forward position. That's a play as well. However, the more favorable matchup for me, if I were to not want to spend too high and not want to spend too low, I would say Atlanta attacking Washington at the power forward position. Morris has always been, even in the regular season, he has always been light at the power forward position. I'm not saying he wouldn't score. He would. But defensively, Washington is kind of weak at the power forward position. So if I were to be like, hey, I don't want to pay too high and I don't want to pay too low, I just want something right there in the middle. Paul Millsap would be a player to pick. So, I gave you a little bit of information on these power forwards. Like the top four are the ones you should be considering. Now, you're gonna have people that throw Morris in the mix. You're gonna have people that throw Ibaka in the mix. Vonley, Sofa, Jay Green, J. Michael Green. I'm not saying those guys won't fly off the shelf and do some damage. I'm just saying, like, honestly, the top four power forward positions are the ones you should look at. Uh, and honestly, Draymond Green, boom. Now, to give you some low value picks, I already told you I might just be biased, but if you look at his numbers, man, he does damage in a short amount of time on the court. 13 minutes, I still can't get over this dude. 13 minutes on the court, 15 points, 5 rebounds, 4 blocks, 1 steal. He had an awesome game. Now, for Golden State, for Kerr not to employ him and give him more run time, it's stupid. That is just stupid. Like, he is, to me, is a good value play. Another one is Beasley. However, you would have to watch exactly what's going on with Beasley. And for roster construction, like if you want somebody to consider for roster construction, Muscala he's not great. However, if you just need one low end player to build your roster up and you don't want to really expect much from that player, but you just need a little bit, I would say Muscala, because he gets the runtime on the floor. He's probably going to get you anywhere from 10 to 15 points. And the only way you would employ him simply by, and I'll be honest with you, I'm completely honest. The only way you would employ him is if you were to go away with Beasley, you were to go away with JaVale McGee, and create a lineup that's going to roster the main players you would want, and you throw him in the mix so you can have some revenue, some salary to play with. Honestly, that's the only way I would employ him. Now, I'm not saying you should, but just giving you a little roster construction knowledge. Sometimes you got to move pieces around. So right now, this is, and I told one of my subscribers, hey, I'm just going to throw 6 players out there. Rather you use them in the same lineup or you move them around and make different lineups with them, it's up to you. However, these 6 players right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, McGee, Green, Beasley, Middleton, McCollum, and Wall, they jump off the page for me. Wall has has a statement to make to Atlanta for the bullshit, and he's going to Atlanta to do it. So Wall's going to perform. McCollum, what happened last game? I kind of don't know what happened between him and Lillard. However, McCollum is going to bounce back from it. He's going to bounce back from it because this is not we're just going to play. No, this is a rivalry. I'm not saying they hate Golden State, but they're going up against the number 1 team in the West, and by my honest, not by my pick, shit, it's stats, it's fact. They're the number 1 team in the West, so he's gonna play hard. He has something to play for. Middleton, he's their offense. He's gonna play. He might get you anywhere from 25 to 30 points. His salary is a little bit too high. However, if you're looking for somebody reliable and consistent, he's one. Beasley, he's more so of a sneaky play. You have to watch out. And I mean, honestly, he's one of those guys where he can go off and get you the same value as Middleton or more, or he can not go off because of Jason Kidd's usage of him. Now, Draymond Green, the reason why he's a good play for me, simply because Draymond Green, he can succeed rather if he scores a point or not. He doesn't need to score a point to go double-double or whatnot. He can just do that. Well, he probably do need to score a point, but still, he can succeed by just distribution and defense with rebounds. That's how he can succeed. He to me is a must play, and he can succeed rather Durant is on the floor or not. So that's another thing to keep in consideration. When Durant's on the floor, You got a lot of players that are gonna probably not tank, but fantasy value might take a hit. And Draymond Green is not one of those players. And JaVale McGee, it's like I told you guys, man. JaVale McGee, he can do a lot in a short amount of time. That's why I praise him so much. Now, he might not be the ideal pick at center simply because you got people like Monroe that can get the job done. And Monroe, yeah, Monroe's a little bit more expensive, but he's a lot more cheaper than someone like Mark Gasol. So those are my picks. Six guys. You don't have to use them all in the same lineup. Move pieces around. Move with caution with Michael Beasley and JaVale McGee. I have him getting anywhere from 15 to 20 points. Now, he may just do more. He may very well do more than that, but you got to be realistic when projecting when doing projections for players. He may get you 15 to 20 points. And if I was constructing a lineup, I'll run different variations and do the numbers or the math and say, this player get me this player can get me that, this can get me this. Is it worth putting them in this lineup? If not, let's keep moving. Let's restructure. That's how my mind works. So there you go. That's all I got to say. Those are the 6 players I have for you guys. If you like what I did, like, comment, subscribe, donate, and I'm out.